a great day for the Cougar family as we honor Mr. Harry Mullins and Mr. James Radar, Coach Brantly from the Roof Hill days. It is an honor. We have a lot of special guests here. We have superintendents, former superintendents. We have board members, former board members. Again, we just want to welcome everyone to this special occasion as we honor these two gentlemen. They have done a great deal not only for Newnan High School, but this community, this county, and as well across the state. And today we just want to honor you guys on everything you've done for athletes, former athletes, current athletes. As an athlete to you guys, thank you for everything you've done for us, and it truly means a lot. And today we want to continue your legacy as we honor you on everything you've done for Coweta County and this school system. So again, we welcome everyone, and we will begin our program at this time.
Good evening. Thank you everyone for coming. I'm John Wolf. I'm the full-time athletic trainer here at Newnan. Jordan Kennard is the teacher athletic trainer. She'll be up here shortly. First thing is I want to spotlight our student athletic training aides who are out here tonight. I got to write everyone down because we got so many. Thank you to Caitlin, Camille, Corion, Kaysen, Kaylee, Carly, Sydney, Allison, Isabella, Jada, Heather, Briley, Lily, Lydia, and Nora. These 15 students do an absolutely amazing job. They volunteer their time. They show up early. They leave late. They do absolutely everything that we could ask of them and more, representing this school, the community, and we're so proud of what they do and how they reflect upon us, and we appreciate everything that they do. I'd also like to thank Newnan Utilities for allowing us to use their ice machines and other equipment over the last 2 years while we've been in transition. Really appreciate them always having an open door to us. Thank you to Mayor Brady, Josie Young and Brady, Blake Smith for always donating to our student program and taking the time out to help with them. Thank you to Casey and Allison Tarpley of Lee Goodrum. They're always very generous with their time, with our students and with us and Radar and everyone in the community. Thank you to Dynamics Fine and Purify, Dr. Logan Hart, Dr. Meredith Jones, Heidi. We appreciate you always coming to speak with the students, stopping by, donating to the program to help us look professional. It's greatly appreciated. It's really overwhelming at times with the path set before us with Harry and Radar, how many people in this community want to help us out, and we never take that for granted. We also like to thank Dr. Horton, school board members, Parish Construction, Ronnie Cheeks, Dr. Puckett for building the start of this amazing facility, the first of many openings to come along the way in the next couple years. This facility is one of a kind, state of the art for a high school level. Just shows commitment to the student athletes, in the community. It's just amazing. Thank you to the Newnan administration over the last 3 years. It's been great to have their support in not only the student program, what Jordan and I do, but also the school and athletics as a whole. During this process, thank you to Walter Drake. All of our supplies were delivered to the wrong location. Walter came, brought everything back. Stuff was delivered by Yellow Freight, which went bankrupt and out of business. Walter went and got that for us and brought it back. And so I've been on the phone with Walter 5-6 times a day for the last 2 weeks. So thank you, Walter, for being my new best friend. Thank you to Jamie Glover. He helped move pretty much everything in here with me. And for those of you who know Jamie, I'm the weak link in that. He was doing 90% of the lifting with that. Thank you to Allison Rogers, who volunteered her time and found students to volunteer their time all week to help build shelves, sweep and mop the floor, and clean everything to make sure we had everything the way we needed to for tonight. Thank you to our athletic director, Randy Robbins, and his right hand, Erica Morgan. They set up all of this. They give us the resources that we need to take care of the student athletes the way we need to, and they do so much behind the scenes for all of us and all 900 student athletes in the community, and we couldn't do it without them. And thank you to my wife, Brooklyn Berkeley, for supporting me and allowing me to care for others and serve others in the community. I appreciate y'all. And thank you to Jordan for always being my right hand and us helping each other out. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience in my 4 years here. So I'll turn it over to Jordan. Thank y'all.
We did have a lot of people show up. This is really overwhelming. This is awesome. You can browse the space, all that stuff, but I'll kind of talk about the education side of it. So I do teach here full time and do athletic training. I always say it's my side hustle. But yeah, so it's been great. This is going to be a lab for our students. So we do have a sports medicine class. Right now we're packing it out at 30 plus kids a semester. So it's going to be awesome. They have already been down here to help build the space. They've already designed their own athletic training rooms. Now that they've seen one, they're already dreaming bigger. So we just got done doing that. But they are able to, we have a 3D anatomy mat, so they learn about the anatomy, and they come down here. They're able to see a lot of the athletes that are injured. They're able to rehab, do rehab with them, and learn the rehab aspect. I've had 3 or 4 student athletic trainers that have gone on and worked at Georgia Bone and Joint right out of high school, just because they've had that experience. A lot of students get patient contact hours, and if you're not familiar with that, when you go to medical school, you have to have thousands and thousands of patient contact hours, and they're already starting to get those at the high school level. So that's even more experience for them. They get medical knowledge as well. I work alongside the anatomy teacher, Miss Amador. So they take my class, or they'll take her class, and then we switch. So they've already got that foundation for anatomy as they go into college. They're able to go ahead and meet program directors in the athletic training world for UGA. We've toured some of those. So this is just opening doors for our students that I did not have in high school at all. My high school still doesn't have an athletic trainer, so they're just opening doors. This is just opening so many doors for our students. But I would like to thank my husband and my daughter Bailey for the many hours that they let me come up here. I'm teaching all day and then come down here. So thank you guys for coming as well.
So before we introduce our first guest of honor, you see the space around you. It couldn't have been completed without 2 groups. Thank you to Jeremy and Brandy Henson Sign and Graphics. They really made the space come to life with everything you see here. It looked bare until they came in and worked their magic, and they've been very generous with helping us out with some extra pieces. It's been wonderful working with Henson. Thank you guys. And then Georgia Bone and Joint, they paid for all the extra pieces to make this the facility that it is. They're great partners for us in taking care of our community. Thank you to Georgia Bone and Joint, Dr. Clark Walker, Dr. David Love, Patty Attaway, Laura Smith. Thank you guys so much for your cooperation in this process. And so first up is someone that I met for the first time in August 31st of 2020. I had just started the month before, and like most people, I had heard of Radar and him essentially being here, laying the first bricks in the front of the school. But he had a picture up on his wall and told me the story of the first athletic trainer at Newnan High School. And by all accounts, he's also the first high school athletic trainer in the state of Georgia. And, you know, he has so many accomplishments in so many areas of the school and the community. And it's such an honor and a privilege to be able to recognize him for the role he came to Newnan for and started out doing. I love, you know, getting to hear all the stories and meeting up for lunch with all the athletic trainers and him him just sharing the wisdom that he and his brother have accumulated over 50 years. It's been an honor to get to know him. I'm excited for the next few decades to get to have him around. He's always great giving time with our students, and I appreciate everything he does. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Harry Mullins.
Jimmy Ellis. Last Saturday, as I was traveling around 5 or 6 counties for I checking dove fields, I got a text from you that I normally get on Saturday mornings, but I got it this afternoon today. And it was where you were praying for me and Susan and told us the most important things is make your inner circle of friends. In other words, in South Mississippi terms, surround yourself with good people. Radar, we may not have done much, buddy, but when you look around this room, we have surrounded ourselves with good people. For each one of you here tonight, thank you very much for giving up your eating and be here. And thank you for all that you do for this community. I promised Susan I'd make some notes so I wouldn't ramble so long. So, I don't know how long I'm going to follow them, but we're going to get started. If I even look at them. Coweta County Board of Education members, thank you, thank you, thank you for recognizing Radar myself for this. I know it is not a task that you take lightly because I've been there. It doesn't go away, does it, Blake? Steve, it is very, very important, and thank you so much for that. But I'm really personally honored for attaching my name up there with Radar, and I mean that. He's given so much to this community for all these years, and that is special. Evan, where are you?
Sir.
You promised this community that after this tornado destroyed these 10 buildings, you promised them that you would build it what they had, make it better than it is. You have fulfilled your obligation here for sure, but when everybody gets to see what's going on in the rest of this place, this is unbelievable. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Thank you for taking it to the board to name this for me and Radar. Y'all forget all the doctors' names. Dr. Duvall, Dr. Randy, John, Jordan. Thank you. Thank you for doing this and pushing this forward. Chase Puckett, where's Chase? This all started when you were here. Thank you. What you have done at this facility in the past few years with COVID and then a tornado that destroyed all these buildings is amazing. From in an industry that'll work around where a lot of construction, I used to work with a lot of construction and stuff going on. To get all these kids in and out of this facility every day, that like y'all do, home safely, it's a tremendous accomplishment. I got a granddaughter here. Thank you for what you have done. Blake, Steve, Thank you for putting up with me. All those years on board. You can nod your head, yeah. But the first sentence I'm in there asking you to spend more. Spend more on this for the kids. Expand it. We need another trainer here. We need to build a training room at EC. We need to do other things. I'm telling you all that. And the next sentence says, manage the business. Because if you don't do that, you don't have any of this. Thank y'all very much. From the bottom of my heart. I got some family members I need to recognize. There's a whole bunch of them. Susan, if I forget them, please let me know. First thing is Susan. Thank you for everything. For putting up with me for almost 48 years. And all the stuff I've been involved with. Thank you very much. I love you. Catherine, our older daughter and her husband Chad, and the two grandsons that they have given us, Miller and Reed. Thank you very much. Mary Elizabeth, John, thank you for giving me another grandson, Wallace, but more especially a granddaughter. I got a granddaughter. Mark Whitlock and Angie, my brother, Aunt Mark Whitlock, my brother-in-law, and Angie, and Aaron is here tonight. Thank y'all very much for being here. Lisa Whitlock, her husband J.W., that most of y'all know as Bubba, couldn't be here tonight. But she's got my two favorite nephews with her, David and Andrew. And Andrew's got with him Danielle, his wife, Jackson, his son. Thank you very much. Thank y'all for coming here. And I love each and every one of you. Did I skip anybody, Susan? All right. There are three people that I want to recognize that are no longer with us, that played a very important role in all of this. The first one is Richard Brooks. With his leadership to get us with financial stability in the school system, to build a reserve, enabled us, Evan, enable you and the board, laid the groundwork to have the money to replace all of these facilities that we destroyed. Winston, you can stand over there and be quiet, but you are a very key component of that. It was both of you that doing it. And thank you for everything you did for me all of these years, trying to get me to keep my mouth shut and go on. Good work. Second was my brother, Leroy. Long-term athletic trainer, time athletic trainer, Southeastern Conference, Mississippi State. He was there when Lloyd Knight's running around here. Lloyd was one of his student trainers years ago. Kurt Stallings played there when Leroy was the trainer. He was at State, Tennessee, the last 30 years, approximately 30 years, as director of sports medicine at Ole Miss. He was my mentor. He's the one I went to all the time. He gave so much to this school. He helped design the new training room, the old training room that we had that was destroyed. He provided radar, all kind of stuff, and he provided me all kind of stuff. I truly miss those two. Before I get to the third one, there's one person I just realized I forgot to recognize a few minutes ago. And thank Ronnie Cheek. You have outdone yourself. People don't realize he is caught between a rock and a big hard place. He has to, all the times that I'm asking these guys to do more, they got him trying to manage this, getting all this done. People don't realize it. All the prints sent back, the plans sent back for East Coweta that you had to change and work on and everything. Thank you very much, Ronnie. You're a key part of everything. The third person is Max. All of this is Max Bass's idea. 1974, I'm on the practice field, spring training, Southern Mississippi. Mike Parker, one of the defensive coaches, comes up to me and asks me, he said, Harry, where are you going next year? What are you going to do? I was finishing up graduate school. What are you going to do? The coach, I kind of narrowed it down. High school in Florida and a high school in Illinois. And they were on the other end of the world. He said, how about doing me a favor? I got an old coach in Georgia who wants to hire an athletic trainer. He said, will you talk to him? I said, sure. I said, tell him to give me a call. He did. This is the way the conversation goes. First conversation. I said, hello? He said, this is Max Bass, like a fish. I said, what do you want? What do you want, Coach? He said, I want to hire a trainer for high school. I said, where are you? He said, Newnan, Georgia. He said, where's it? And he told me. I said, what kind of facilities do you have? He said, none. He wasn't lying completely. This is all they had. This kid. It had a tough skin in it. It still got the can of nitrotan rolling around. It had 2 rolls of tape. I said, why do you want me to come? He said, we need a trainer there for our kids. We need to take care of our kids. I said, all right. Well, I got with him. Max and Vernon Kidd and Mike Etheridge were going to graduate school in Southern when I was there. I got in Max's old car, and we rode from Hattiesburg to here. And that in itself is an adventure, I promise you. We come here and we ride in front of Newnan High School. I looked up on this hill, and I saw that old gym. And I saw that main building. A week later, I called my daddy. I said, Daddy, we haven't been to Newnan, Georgia. He said, where is it? And I told him. He said, yeah, we went through LaGrange and went by. I rode up through here as a kid. I remember seeing the school up on this hill. It came back to me. So when we came over here and I spent 3 days, Max did a good job. He sold the program good. We went around the court square. Went and saw Fred Morgan. Went and saw Mr. Lee and Lee King. Went to Brothers and Charlie and Ellis. We went all over the place. We rode over this county. We went everywhere. It really sold me, Frank, when we went fishing in his pond. And we catch some big old brim. I get on a Greyhound bus and ride back to Hattiesburg. I'm in the training room the next day. My brother called me. He was worried to death where I was going. I went. If I didn't find what I wanted, I just stayed in school. School was good. He said, where are you going? To Florida, Illinois. I said, neither one, Leroy. He said, where are you going? I said, I think I'm going to Newnan, Georgia. He said, what have they got? I said, nothing. He said, why do you want to go there if they don't have anything? I told him 2 things. One, if I can do anything to help make this program successful, I can do anything I want to do in life. I realized at 22 years old, I did not need everything given to me. I needed to work for it. And I sure worked when I got it. And the second thing, which is most important, or all of y'all. It didn't take me but 3 days walking around this town. When I run around the court square, everybody say, "Hey, Hoss, how you doing? Y'all gonna win this year? How you doing?" I realized, as I told Leroy, I said, "Leroy, I think I want to live there. It's a special place," and it is. Max did a good job. We sat up on this hill one day. He told me, "Mullins, one day we need to build a gym down there for the coach's office, dressing room, locker rooms." Never did I think I would be on the Board of Education. Joe Crane, I didn't even know what the Board of Education was. Y'all were coming through Ruth Hill. I didn't even, and never did I think I'd do it. Under Richard's leadership, we were able to build that facility and that training room. But when I got here, like I said, there was nothing. We put a wall up in the dressing room, took a part of a dressing room in the shower, and made it the training room. Didn't take much to hold that kid. Took a teacher's desk, turned it around backwards, made my taping table. Over there on that side over there is 3 taping areas. Took 3 kitchen cafeteria tables, made them my treatment tables. That's what they got over there now. In the Vietnam War, Army surplus, they had everything in the world. We get several of the folks around town, we put out loaded up pickup trucks, we go to Atlanta. We get medical cabinets, hydroculators, and it's the old paraffin wax, somebody has the old paraffin machine, somebody asked me about that tonight. Went to Brown Steel, they made a whirlpool for us. Went to Coca-Cola with James Newby. He took an old ice machine out of a store in Moreland and made a cold bath, or we made a cold bath. You know, that's what makes this town special. It really does. And after I decided to go off in another business, I had the opportunity to work on the school board, so I helped me on the school board, and I thank y'all for that. If I, like I told Leroy, if I could do some small part to help make this place successful, I'm happy. I'm happy. Thank all of you. Appreciate it very much. And I love all of you.
So our next person is Mr. Brantly, and to our kids, they say, our kids are like, "Who's Mr. Brantly?" I'm like, "Radar." "Oh, I didn't know that was his, I didn't know he had a last name." I'm like, "Yeah, he's got one." But I got here in 2016, and Radar was retiring for the 2nd time. And he had said, I was over at Georgia Bone and Joint, and he said, "Jordan, you know, I'm thinking about retiring. You know, what do you think about Newnan?" And I said, "Well, you know, I've been around for a year helping a little bit, and I helped Coach Knott a lot, and I met them for the first time a year before that, and I was like, well, I'll try it out." And then I got here, I got the job, and I started meeting all the community, and they're like, "Oh, you're the new Radar." I said, "Yes, I'm the new Radar. I have blonde hair. I have some hair." And they would say, "Well, you have some really big shoes to fill." And I did not realize how big those shoes were until I got into this community. But this community, I'm not from here, but I feel like I'm from here. They have accepted me, and they have supported us and myself when I was here by myself. Before John came along, you guys have just come alongside all of us, and just really, there's no place like Newnan. I tell my parents, they're like, "Move back." I'm like, "No, there's no place like Newnan." I love it. But Radar was here for 35 years. I told him I was going to beat him and do 36. Well, he's still here, so he's in like 42 football seasons now. I don't know if I can beat that. So Radar, to me, Radar has just been such an intricate role here at Newnan. The kids still know Coach Radar. He will always say, I know your dad, I know your granddad, to all the kids. But even when I was here just by myself, I will never forget, my brother was graduating from the Marines, and Radar took the kids with another teacher. We were going to Pebblebrook. He had the field ready to rock and roll. My husband drops me off and we're ready to roll. And Radar has just always been there. He's always been a phone call away. If I ever have a question, if I ever need a water cow fixed, Radar's got it. But he is just, I mean, I don't even have words to describe him. I mean, he's been here for so long and done so much for all of these students. And my kids still love him. So, Radar.
That's going to be a hard act to follow. I got here in 1981. Max called Doc Anderson, who was the head trainer at Troy State University, and said, Doc, you got anybody who can take this job? He said, I only got one that's graduating. Guess who got the job? Max took a chance on me being a first-year teacher, first-year athletic trainer out on his own. And for that, I am so privileged to have him as part of my family and his family. Matter of fact, I got so close to him that when my dad came up here and met him, my dad looked at him and says, Max, he's yours, do whatever you want to do. Well, he did. But like I said, I got here in 81 and I've been here, this will be 42 years on the sidelines. Been through 7 superintendents, about that many principals over at Ruth Hill, and I still survived. But Newnan is such a special place. I mean, like Harry said a while ago, it's just special. I just fell in love with it. And another thing, after Harry's talked about his wife, my wife is named Susan. His wife's named Susan. So I guess that's what we have. We like that name Susan. So, and my wife is holding my grandson Fox, and then my oldest son Asher's with us, Mason's with us, my other son. I got one of my sisters with me. I got Asher's wife Dominique with him. I got to get to where I can see my sister Shirley's here. I got a nephew, 2 nieces, and Brett's wife, Sean, Kylie, and Bella. Well, no, the middle one is at a cheerleading competition, so she wasn't able to make it. But that's my extended family, like y'all know my extended family. And like I said, it's been a great thing. I got Dr. Craddock here. Quick story on him. His son played soccer for us. Well, he got poleaxed in the head one night, and he's acting a little goofy and all, and they were out of town. So I called them and tell them what was going on. He said, okay, we'll take care of it. Well, they just started on the concussion things. So the next morning, I'm leaving to go to the Georgia Athletic Trainers Association meeting, and I swing by that house to make sure that their son's awake, and he calls me and said, you ain't got to do that. I said, yeah, I do too. But he's been a great supporter to us, like Georgia Bone and Joint, Lloyd Knott, back there. I called him, and he'll understand this. I call Lloyd Boss Hog, my little fat buddy. Because we rode around one time, and he had a hat on that almost blew off, so I stuck my hand on top of his hat like a Boss Hog. So, you know, we go back. He got here in 82. So he's right there behind me. And Blake Bass, who was our defensive coordinator when I got here, and the stories that between him and myself and Vince could tell on Max, could probably write another book. But, you know, it's just been a great place to be here. My wife is... Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm fixing to get shot now because they're spending the night with me. Charles Lancaster, who, when he first got to Newnan, he was in the county 4-H system. So, and his wife, my wife's sister, Emily, and can't forget Miss Landreth. The first week I was here, Max gives me this stack of papers, about 17 pages long, and said, these are the questions that we're going to have to ask for physicals and everything. I said, okay. Well, I started reading them. I'm not an English person. I said, okay. Max, who do I need to give this to? He said, give it to Miss Landreth. Well, for those who went to Newnan High School, you know how she is. I gave it to her the first time, and she corrected it in red. She said, go fix it. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, you have asked the wrong person to fix it. So I tried to fix it. 17 tries later, she went red, pink, green, purple. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that. And pencil. I mean, and we finally got it down. That helped me out a whole lot. Thank you. But got Dwayne Meacham. He's worked with me years, and he's what I call my equipment manager. If it gets tore up on the sideline and I'm busy, that man can fix it. We got someplace and we didn't have a key to turn the water on. You know, you heard all the stories about Max would do this and this when the other teams come. Well, our problem was we couldn't ever find a water key or a key to the dressing rooms when we went to other places. Dwayne always had a water key with him. And take real good care of us. And I'm going to talk about this in just a second, Evan. Evan Horton, our superintendent, his wife was in my elementary classes. So you did good, son. Yeah, you got me to thank for that. But, I mean, it's a great honor for this. I mean, Dr. Kemp, or as I told him today, I might not get the doctor out every time, but Jamal was one of my 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. So my students have now become our bosses. Vince came through and was turned out, and Walter Drake was in my 6th grade classes. Now he's all up over at the central office. I mean, they've done such a great job. And Mr. Joe Crane, where's Mr. Joe at? All right, Mr. Joe Crane, first time I met Mr. Joe, he said, if you need anything, Coach, just let me know. I said, all right. So about 2 weeks later, I'm looking around, and we're getting ready to go play a ball game, and I'm going, where's the towels? We did not have a towel one. So I go down to Mr. Joe's and tell him. 2 days later, I hear his truck pull up behind the training room. That was the old training room up on top of the hill. I go out there, and there's a truck dropping a pallet off. Mr. Joe had got me 500 pounds of towels. They were pink, they were red, they were green, they were blue, and they were white. So we had towels for a while. But the community has always been, you know, helpful. Stacy Tarpley from Lee Goodrum played for us and is now a big supporter of the Newnan Cougars. And just all right. And Mayor Brady, I'll get it out. Thank you for all the stuff that you've done for us as far as getting our kids T-shirts and stuff and supporting us. We're, you know, like I said, Newnan is just a very special place. And like I say, I thank Max every time I think about him that he had enough sense, or maybe not enough sense, to hire me. But and I've got student. Where'd Patsy Brown go? Patsy Brown right here was one of my first female student trainers at Newnan from '81. So and I got the Farrell girls. Raise your hand. When I went looking for student trainers, I didn't advertise. I usually picked most of my student trainers from Ruth Hill Elementary School because I got to know them and I got to know their parents. So I got all 3 of the girls, and there's a set of twins of them. And I had another set of twins, the McAreef twins. I was smart. I got Mayor Brady's daughter as one of my student trainers. But if you were one of my student trainers and you're here, raise your hand just a second so I can. There's Laura. There's that. Ashley, when he was over here, was one of my head student trainers, along with some of the Farrell girls who were head student trainers. But Ashley, I could always rely on. He could pack a school bus tighter than a tick. I mean, he'd have, oh, here's another one, Carolyn Spearman. Raise your hand, Carolyn. She is now an athletic trainer with the United States military, am I right?
I have the Air Force now, had the Army for 10 years. So.
Okay, so you know, there's all different ways to be an athletic trainer, from the traditional settings to the military. And you know, I'm so proud of all of them. And I know I probably run my time, so I thank you. I love you. Couldn't do it without y'all.
Again, we just want to thank all our guests for coming out and honoring Mr. Mullins and Coach Brantly, Radar. We do have light refreshments in the back. Please help yourself. Again, thank you and good night.